Hi, welcome back. It's been such a long time since you've seen me. Did you miss me? Anyway, welcome to the new moon forecast, which is the eclipse forecast, the Mercury retrograde. It's all happening at the same time, and also in between tarot time, we did tarot time at 11. We're doing this at 1. I was going to redo my notes and everything. And then the master teacher started to come through. And then I started to do some automatic writing. So we have messages from the master teachers. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? We'll have divination cards at the end. So we have the 5 top things that we need to know about this really powerful portal energy that we're in. This really powerful eclipse new moon, um, and Mercury retrograde. So we'll explain that. I'll go over the things that Spirit recommends that we do, what spiritual exercises to do. That's very succinct with this energy that's happening right now. And let's see what else. On Wednesday night, we're going to do some energy channeling, some frequency channeling. And I have to tell you guys, the master teachers are just like so thrilled. Like I was doing my notes, redoing my notes. Then they came through and they were just telling us that, that we've been doing the work, we've been doing the frequency work with the master teachers, preparing our vehicles, preparing our energy fields. And now the shift is happening. So we're going to be ready to make that shift and to get the most out of this period. So congratulations for doing this work, or maybe you've been doing similar work with other channels or in other ways. Doesn't really matter. No matter how you're doing it, you've been preparing. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, the master teachers are basically beings of energy, of frequency, interdimensional beings that are working with us in collective consciousness during this time of ascension and awakening. So they use me as an energy channel. And when I do the work, they come through me, they activate my fields, and they activate your fields if you're doing the meditations with us. And people feel it. I get emails and messages back every time I do it, people describing their experiences. So it's very powerful work. And if you want to catch up, there's plenty of recorded channeling sessions and energy sessions here on the Medium channel. If you tap into that energy. There's no time and space. It all happens in the now. So anyway, so we're going to do that Wednesday. I think I might do a 5-5 portal meditation also, or transmission with the master teachers. Also, if you want to dive deeper into this work, a lot of you are on Spirit Mind Family, our Patreon community, where we do 2 extra channelings with the master teacher every month and dive deeper into shifting and elevating our frequencies for the shifts. We're awakening and the world is changing, and you're here and doing the work. So that's awesome. And what else did I write down? I just wrote down like and comment, because I always forget that. Let's help get this information out to more people. The idea is we want everybody to be prepared. We want everybody to know what's happening, what's going on, and to be prepared and to be informed. So that's that. And then if you want to, I'll pin tarot time, the weekly forecast we just did, on the pinned comment when this becomes a video, because I'm not going to repeat the same information. I'll also pin the video on the top predictions for the 2020s. That's really important because some of it's already happening. And then this Thursday, we're going to do an upload on the 11 top ways to attain personal freedom during this shift and this change. So that's a really important video. So anyway, welcome community. Welcome everybody. Hi, I'm Inspired. Hi, Michael again, and Brianna again, and Jody again, and hi, Claire. And hi, everybody. Glad to see you. Glad to see you back. Hi, Janice. So you're back also. Noreen and Peggy, good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. So let's start with the messages. Let's get right into this. Let me start with clearing my throat a little bit so I don't sound like a frog. Yes, coffee does it every time, right? All right. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, I didn't have a chance to transcribe these notes. It just came through. But here's the channel messages. It's not that long either. It says, this eclipse season is massive. This is the tipping point. Everything is about to change. This is the change from being on the precipice of mass systems failure to the actual events. You will be okay if you stay in your heart, stay in your power, and work on cultivating the proper frequencies to be in harmony with the frequency shift of the earth. This is how you'll shift into new earth reality. Again, as the earth is shifting vibration, we're all shifting vibration too. Earth is alive, earth is breathing, earth has a heartbeat, earth has consciousness, and we're her children. So again, if you shift into new earth reality and discover who you are, why you are here, why you came here, what your mission is in this once in eternity event your species is coming into. Only this time you've learned as a collective, and you will not repeat the same errors and shift into your 5D reality rather than falling back and repeating the same cycle of falling down and starting over again. So in other words, I'm just going to interject that this wouldn't be the first time that we've been on the threshold of this level of awakening, but every time in our, we'll say, collective past, for lack of a better word, because we know there's no time really, it's all circular, but um, but every time we haven't been able to make this shift. We haven't freed ourselves from the collective human ego enough to be able to make that shift. So they're preparing us and they're working hard with us for us to be able to do that. But of course, we have to do our part. Okay, so back to the messages. This time is about quieting yourself. Okay, so just to back up, they're explaining what's different this time than other times. Like Atlantis is a good example. Like other times that we've been on this amazing threshold. So this time it's about quieting yourself, going into your heart and rediscovering who you are and why you are here. You're reaching the energetic threshold to make this shift and start your new journey now. Your celestial events at this time are your portal. You will never be the same. Nothing will ever be the same. Release the fear and trust. This is what you've been working so hard towards. And as the world falls, you will rise only to rebuild your world in your new enlightened self-image. We are pleased to do the frequency work with you, as many of you have been working with us, and your frequencies have now evolved to make this evolutionary leap. We love you. So anyway, that was the messages that came through. Anyway, good morning from New Paltz, Carla, and hi Felicia, and awesome community. That this is worth a post. Awesome community. Yes, I couldn't agree more, and that's because of you guys. So thank you for being here. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the astrology. I didn't write too much about, well, other than the 29-degree point. Hey, so total solar eclipse is happening here on the East Coast at about 12:13 a.m., I believe, right after midnight. So if you're in Central Time, Mountain or Western Time, or Pacific Time, it's really on April the 19th here, and in Europe and points east going to the international date line. It's on the 20th. From I say Manila. I say, oh, we have somebody from the Philippines. I say, oh, Manila, Arkansas. That works also. I'm high from there as well. Okay, so I even wrote it down. April 20th, 12:13 a.m., 29 degrees, 50 minutes Aries. There's only 30 degrees in the sign, so this is like right at the end. This is what some would call an astrological new blue moon, being it's the second new moon in the same sign. That happens once every roughly 2.5 years or so. This time it's happening in Aries. Aries is the initiator, the new beginnings, but 29 is the end point, so it's the completion point also. 29 is a very volatile version of number 11. 2 + 9 = 11. And it often speaks of things like treachery and backstabbing and stuff like that. At least in the Chaldean numerology system, it speaks of that kind of energy. So these are some of the things just to be aware of in the world around us, and even in your local world and community. So, be on top of things, with people trying to rip you off or gaslight you, or outright treachery, or stuff like that. But 11 is the lion's muzzle with clenched fist. I say this a lot. I'm an 11 life path number, 38 that reduces to 11. In tarot, they switch key 8 and key 11, but key 11 used to be the strength card, which is the lion with the lion tamer. So it's about, number 11 is very good about learning how to control and overcome the lower forces. That's our lower egoic nature. Nothing wrong with egos. We need those to navigate this physical world, but in order to ascend, we need to evolve past that and beyond that. So this number 11, this 29 energy, is going to help to do that. But at the same time, it's going to expose a lot of wrongdoing from people around you, as well as the world around you. So very, very powerful stuff here. As that's happening, Pluto, the planet of evolution, and kind of that inner explosion, or that inner force of transmutation, that's going to be squaring the full moon. It's the new moon. I'm sorry, the new moon eclipse at 0 degrees Aquarius. So and Aquarius is also about higher mind and evolution. So that Pluto square is going to add a lot of energy. Now, Aries is also a Mars ruled sign. So Mars is important. What Mars is doing in your personal chart and what it's doing in the world around us, very important, as well as Pluto. Pluto's going to be sitting at 0 degrees of Aquarius for a couple more months before it backs into Capricorn again for about a year or so, or a little under a year, I think, actually. So Mercury stations, Pluto, okay. I wrote down that Pluto goes to 29 degrees Aquarius on June 12th. So Mercury stations on the 21st, actually, it stations goes retrograde. So it'll be stationing. Where anytime a planet stations, the powers of that planet are stronger. With Mercury, it can mess up communications. It can cause a lot of havoc, but at the same time, it can be an excellent tool for going inward, during that transit. So that's all happening at the same time. So Mars is 12 degrees Cancer. So Mars is in the lunar ruled sign. Like I said, the moon rules the sign Cancer. So like I said, what's going on with Mars is important because of this all lining up in the sign Aries. 12 degrees is the sacrifice, and as far as the degree points go, it's what we need to let go of and sacrifice in order to rise up to the next level. It's the hangman in the tarot, so which is key 12. So all that is relevant. So 29 degrees can bring up deception, treachery. True number 11 is the lion muzzle. All right, we already explained that. So here's the 5 things to know about this. I'm just gonna pull this just because I like the interaction here. It's already come to light that really that my mother stole. Oh gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, stay in the heart, stay in your power. What I often say, quoting what's written in the Bible, that's apparently a quote from Jesus: "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And we had just as much as people can be negative and screw us over, and it's horrible when that happens and lives are affected. We also have to send them a little prayers, I guess, or love, because they're in a place where they just don't believe. They're disconnected with God and source. They've forgotten that there's plenty for everybody, and you do not have to be underhanded and manipulative and get more than your share, because Spirit provides abundance. Everything that exists in this world exists in abundance. This piece of paper I'm holding, it's got trillions of cells, trillions of atoms. That's abundance. I mean, everything exists in abundance, and that includes money, because money's energy, money's frequency, currency. All right. Anyway, I knew I wanted to flash that for some reason. All right. Okay. So number 1, this is it. The shift we've been waiting for. This is it. That's the number 1 thing to know about this eclipse season, because it is a season. It's already started. Every 6 months or so, 6.5 months, roughly 6 months, we have another eclipse season. They usually come in pairs. Once in not literally, but once in a blue moon, you may get a series of 3 eclipses. But other than that, it's usually in pairs. So we have a lunar eclipse on the full moon coming up in 2 weeks also. I'll have a lot to say about that also, trust me. So this is it. A lot is about to change in the world. Been on the precipice for major change. This eclipse will be the tipping point. So we've been on that precipice for a while, where things are changing. And this energy is going to really shift into that. I really feel like this is it. And big elevations in consciousness, prepared to shift, do a lot of frequency work and stay grounded, is what they're saying. You can do your own frequency work. You can work with us and the master teachers. You are so welcome to do that. It's really powerful work. I see the internet's a little bit off again, so I apologize for that as well. I'm in my office space where I have the highest, the strongest Wi-Fi available, and it's still messing up. Happy Mercury Retrograde. So that's number 1. So stay grounded. Number 2, I have more notes on number 1. We'll see a lot of pressure mandates, so be aware of that. So I think more pressures from the government, more restrictions of freedom, more news, more using the media as a tool for control, all that stuff that we come to know and love in our world. More gaslighting, more guilting and shaming of the masses. Remember, guilt and shame, according to Dr. David Hawkins, is an even lower frequency than anger and fear. So if they can guilt us and shame us, they rob us of our power, basically. Never be in guilt and shame. Be in your power, be in your heart. Recognize when you made a mistake, obviously, and be aware of it and apologize when necessary without being an apologist or a people pleaser, because that's born out of guilt and shame also. That's how to stay in your power. So big elevation of conscience, prepare for shift, do a lot of frequency work and stay grounded. See a lot of pressures, mandates, things like EVs, electric vehicles, which are, in theory, I love it. Yeah, back in the day, I was in favor of electric vehicles. Let's stop burning the fossil fuels. That's important. Till I did a little bit of research, and honestly, I think the creation of these vehicles is a bigger offender to the environment than the actual releasing of. I could be wrong about that. It's just my opinion, but be aware of that. Also, artificial intelligence. We're going to see a lot more. How computers can think. Computers get programmed just like we get programmed. That's how they think. So, again, be aware of that also. No matter how sophisticated they are, it'll be interesting if they're able to formulate the electronic circuitry so much that it mirrors the human system enough for machines to actually acquire souls, or for soul intelligence to be interwoven into our technology, into our computer. I personally believe it's possible. So we'll see how far AI goes. But again, be aware of the positives of the technology versus the control aspects, and how we're being led and misled to take our rights, freedoms, and to take our resources away, just for the benefit of a minute select few. So again, be aware of that. So they also said lots of frequency shifts, transformation of Mother Earth herself, ups and downs in the stock market and the economy. Same old with that, same old. Lots of light code activations happening. Again, as the master teachers were saying, this is a big portal energy. This is a big, massive energetic shift. So we have periodic, portal activations as the Earth moves through various photon belts, various, cosmic ports of high energy, then low energy, then different energy or whatever. But it's always moving up. Nothing goes in a straight line. So we'll get a spike of energy, then it'll come down a little bit. And when it comes down, that's when we can just go deeper within, allow our bodies to shift, maybe heal, because frequency shifts do tax the body. But what happens, just like if you're working out in a gym, you need a day or two for the muscles to rebuild, but then they're stronger. So the next time you do the frequency work, you can handle more frequency and higher frequency. And that's how these activations work. That's how these natural light portals that are affecting the earth work, basically. So that's all number one. Number two, usually I would say it's a new moon. All new moons are about new beginnings. And that's true. However, this new moon in particular is about endings that'll lead to new beginnings. So it's still about new beginnings because it's a new moon, it's a new cycle, all that, but it's endings. This time the focus focus your new beginnings and what you need to end in order to create that. Basically, Mercury's retrograde. It's stationed actually right on the new moon. Remember, the new moon is the template for the next 29 days of the whole lunar cycle. It doesn't mean that everything's going to be exactly the same right on the new moon. It's just forming the template. And then the events of the month, the different aspects that come, basically build upon that template. But this is a very important time. So you want to really be, especially on an eclipse, we really want to be in our heart and in our center, in our power and in our spirit as much as possible. So Mercury retrograde, 29 degrees and things. It's the last degree point of the sign. And it's the first sign. So again, that's the dichotomy, beginnings and endings. You solve dichotomies by understanding that all polar opposites are really one and the same. It's just our viewpoint that makes them opposites. That's the riddle of duality. Once you solve that, you evolve past duality. And once that happens, you can enter the quantum field. You can elevate to the fourth, fifth dimension and higher. So duality is not a bad thing. It is the physical universe, but understanding what that is. My duality of my direction is this is left, this is right. But if I move over here, then what was left becomes right. It's just my vantage point has changed. That's the only thing that's changed. Right and left are exactly the same. So understand that. That's an important concept to understand. Okay, where are we? Time folks, new beginnings. Second, and it's also the second Aries new moon. So when there's two events in the same time, the first one will begin the cycle, the second one will end the cycle. So there you have it. That's the reason. Moving right along. Number three. I need my notes. I know there's some people that can commit all this to here. I wish I was one of them. I have Mercury in Virgo. Virgo's a very exacting. It's very intelligent. It's a blessing, but at the same time, it's not that like Gemini, like multitasking, having everything in my brain. I need it concrete in writing. So anyway, number three, wars, conflicts. Be aware of people losing it. That Pluto squaring is a very agitating energy, and again, it's Aries, Mars. That can be about wars. So as I'm talking, I feel like they're saying, there may be renewed. I hate to use the word fears because fears of the mind, but I can't think of a better word. New fears or new trepidations about nuclear weapons. Yeah, look at everything that's going on in the world. We've been saying for a few months now how everything's going to ramp up. News is going to fire us faster. We're going to be shocked. Look at the Dalai Lama and how that smear campaign when in reality, from what I understand, he was only following traditional Tibetan customs that Westerners don't understand. So look at what's happening. Look at all the pollution, like the train derailments all of a sudden happening. That was on the heels of the spy planes. It's going to keep firing out at us. We really need to stay in our heart, stay in that eye of the storm, stay in your own lane. People are going to be very agitated, even more than they are now, believe it or not. And if you look at somebody the wrong way, they may bite your head off. So that's not to be afraid to go out or afraid of people. Just be in your heart, be in your compassion, be in your power. If somebody's not teachable, don't try to teach them. I'm a primary offender of that. So I'm talking to me when I'm saying that, but you too. Reachable and teachable. If not, let them go. They'll figure it out when they're ready. Focus your valuable time, your valuable energy on what's going to make a difference, what's going to really matter. Collective consciousness works in a certain way. Each time somebody gets it, it adds to the collective. When there's enough fuel in the collective, the entire collective shifts, and that just like that 100th monkey experiment. So the awakening is going to happen one person at a time until the energy flips, and then all of a sudden people are going to be like, I'm thinking of an old Simpsons episode where what was it, Krusty the Clown, for whatever reason the show went off the air or whatever, and the children were kind of like going outdoors, and they were kind of rubbing their eyes and like, wow, like looking at the big wide world and wonder, because they're not glued to that TV set with Krusty the Clown, and they're like, all of a sudden they start playing and having a good time. So anyways, I think you get the metaphor there. So yeah, being very angry, saying right now, being your companion. All right. So number 4, big evolutionary step. That's basically how I didn't. What was I going to say? That's how I presented this. Yeah, this is a huge evolutionary step. We've been kind of working our way up to it. And again, I feel like, and again, the eclipse effect can take up to even 6 months to really fully manifest. But I think even in this month, they're saying within the next 3 months, we're really going to see a lot of these changes. They keep showing me money. Be aware of trends in money and in investments and stuff like that. I mean, there may be some merit to things like digital currencies for investments, but always, as I often say, the precious metals are really the solid investments for right now. And then understanding the trend, what's going to be big in 2 or 3 years, what's going to serve the awakening, what's going to serve humanity, what's going to serve positivity. Things are always changing, and no matter how much the economy goes down, something's always going to go up. There's always a hole. There's always an opportunity, even in the worst of times. Ask the Gallo brothers. Well, you may need a medium like me to ask the Gallo brothers. They started a wine stand during the Great Depression and became millionaires. We've heard of Gallo brothers wine, right? I'm not even a drinker, and I've heard of that. All right. So for people very angry, waste energy on those. I'm teachable. 7-year count. Okay, 4 big evolution steps. All right. The other thing is Pluto influences levels anything that's unsustainable in this world, in this society. So expect to see the systems continuing to tumble down, fall, and crash. Government systems, financial systems, systems of rulership, systems of economy. I think I said this, both of them twice in different ways, but you get the idea. All right, I think I made my point. Number 5 is examine repeating patterns. This is a perfect energy with the eclipse and the full moon to start to go within and understanding what patterns repeat in your life. That will tell you how you're programmed, because everything in your reality you've created, and I don't care who did what to you. And I'm not diminishing that. I mean, people have screwed me over to a point. I won't even go into it. But the thing is, we have to be spiritual warriors. We have to understand that we're vibrational beings. We're frequency. And whatever we hold this frequency, that's what we attract into our lives. That's what we manifest. So you can either be like hate this person, for firing you for no reason, or running off with the inheritancy, to shifting to like what's in my fields that why am I experiencing this event at the same time? And if you take that approach and you find the answers, then you learn the lesson, you have the growth, and then you don't repeat those patterns anymore. So examine your repeating patterns. With Mercury station going retrograde, and with the second new moon and the powerful eclipse, eclipse energy intensifies the effects of the new moon. So it's like taking a magnifying glass to the energy of the new moon and making it stronger, basically. So you want to examine, the stagnations in your life. This is the best time to recognize them and heal them from the source, basically. So I think I'm allowed to say that you're talking about Joe Franklin. People from New York City know who he is, or from that area. All right, so there's a few exercises, and I have a couple of divination, so a couple more messages to come in. And anybody that's popping in late, in the beginning, we did the messages from the master teachers also. So, if you missed that, that was pretty cool, I think. So number one was work with the sun. It's funny because I started to write SON, so maybe that's also about working with spirit or God or deity also. Like we were coming out of the equinox and we're coming into the Beltane season now, and the equinox is the rebirth of the. No, that's Yule. That's Christmas. Wrong season, but anyway. The point being is that the sun God and the son of God may not be that different. That's the point I was trying to make. Anyway, so work with the sun, the central sun, which is the vibrational sun, or the higher dimensional sun, as it were. Some people believe that that's expressed through the star Sirius. Maybe it is. I don't have enough information to know that at this time, but there's a central sun or central power, basically, that gets expressed through the physical sun. And through that connection, the physical sun can activate your dormant DNA through light code frequency, light code activation. Light codes are basically portals of energetic information that you as a soul understands, even if your conscious mind doesn't. And when that activation happened and your frequencies elevate, then some of your dormant DNA codes start to awaken. These are codes that can teach you how to heal cancer or grow new limbs. It's been, I don't know if it's been proven or not. You'd have to research like people like Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza, but in any event, we have these capabilities. I mean, from my own experiences, I just one of many examples, but a really stark one is that, and this is all, this is spirit. So once we activate our dormant DNA code, we activate our spiritual potentials and the ability for spirit to save our lives. Like what happened when I had an aneurysm, a large aneurysm actually burst in my heart, as in the ascending aorta. You literally rupture from the heart all the way to the main artery, a large tear. And I didn't get my surgery till 7 months later. I basically had a heart attack, and I found out I had an aneurysm, but they wouldn't know what happened, and they wouldn't be looking for it. But somehow I did not bleed out. Somehow the outer wall of the aorta held, which my doctor said is literally impossible. But my surgeon just happened to be a Sikh from India, and I do Kundalini yoga, so it's like Spirit gave me the right person. Anyway, the point being is that what is said to be impossible is not impossible once you start to awaken these dormant codes, and then the angels or spirit. I mean, whatever, whoever saved me can do their magic. Anyway, I think that makes sense, right? I hope it does. Anyway. Okay, so work with the sun. Now, there's also saying I've seen people doing downward dog, like doing yoga, and I feel like they're saying one thing this month is do some like sun salutation, like some form of sun salutation or something similar. Like Children's School of Yoga, that's Doreen. She's on right now. She does every 1 to 2 months, she does a yoga class right here on the Medium channel. So doing that, do some form of sun salutation daily, do light code activation, sun gazing. One exercise that I've had in 2 other videos, and you go out, only do this for 3 minutes, get present, open your heart, imagine your heart's a big solar panel, and just absorb the sun rays. You can do this indoors, but I like it better outdoors and actually physically feeling the sun also. And just do that every day, 3 minutes at a time. It's very powerful. I wouldn't want anybody to do much longer than that. So the other thing is they're saying work with the sun. Second thing was work with the earth. Do lots of grounding and centering, and do lots of frequency work. Like every day, it's Earth Month, it's Earth Day. Every day should be Earth Day. As I channel, like maybe not every single day, but most days, I'll for at least a few minutes, I'll channel the master teachers. It's like I'm doing a transmission for you guys, and then channel that energy into the earth and become almost like a conduit. The more of us that do this, the more we're going to be able to energize and heal the earth. And the more we can help the earth through her ascension, the easier it's going to be for us to have our ascensions, because we are that connected to the earth. when you're outside walking in the woods and you shed those skin cells, basically part of your essence is going back to what created you, which is the earth. So, and of course, the cosmos created the earth. So, third one is work with the heart. So, we have work with the sun, work with the earth, work with the heart. Do process where you feel the earth below you. So, you feel the vibration of the earth below you, feel the sun above you, and then allow these two centers, these two energies to meet in the heart frequency. Then when that happens, feel your heart expanding. Start to feel your space with your heart. Feel the energy with your heart. Feel your room with the heart. Feel the furniture. Then maybe expand your heart into the world around you, feeling that with your heart. And your heart knows. Your heart's intelligent. That was proven, I believe, in 1991, that the heart has brain cells, that the heart and the brain are unique and constructed fairly similarly, that the heart has the capacity to think, but the heart thinks through emotion and feeling. The brain has a different way of thinking through logic. But if you blend these two centers and become coherent with heart and brain, then you become coherent with spirit, and then you allow yourself, or you allow the cosmos to assist you in activating you and again awakening your dormant DNA, and that's when a lot of magic happened. So I was going to say, as above, so below, me in the heart to infinite. All right. So work with silent meditation. They were saying to do personal silent retreats this month. Go within, unplug as much as possible this month. I mean, we need our technology too for our jobs and our lives or whatever, but try to step away from technology more. Try to go out into nature more and feel the flows of nature, feel the earth. And maybe do a day, like one day do maybe a micro fast, another day maybe do a silent retreat where you're just not going to talk to anybody or anything. Um, and what I write down here, the more you eliminate outside distraction and the more internal awareness you develop, the more gracefully and efficiently your vibrations will shift to your next level of awakening. Oh, that's it. So I have a divination deck, the world, three brains are mine. Thank you for sharing that. Mind, heart, and stomach. Okay, very good. And what else were you saying? The word sun means sound. Nice. And by the way, the sun makes a sound. Everything makes a sound, right? And when they develop sophisticated enough machinery or detectors or whatever that could bring the sound frequency, because it's inaudible to the human ear, just like a dog whistle. We can't hear it, but we know it's a real sound. When they brought it down to it, the sound the sun was making was Om. Gee, what a coincidence. Om. And how many of you guys know that in Sanskrit and many and other traditions too, you use mala beads that have 108 beads, right? And you repeat the mantra 108 times. Well, the average distance between the earth and the sun is exactly 108 diameters of the sun. Everything is in sacred geometry. Everything is related. Everything is interconnected. So anyhow, here we go. So thanks for sharing, Felicia. I appreciate these. Maybe at some point we'll do like an Earth Star chakra activation or something like that, or work with the 12 chakra system a little bit more. Right. So these are called the Divine Abundance cards. I'm going to ask Spirit to give us another something I might have missed in about this, eclipse, new moon energy that we're in right now. Okay, so this is the one that they drew me to. Here's the one I pulled. It says limitless. So that's the card. That's the image. Sometimes you can get your personal message just from the image. I mean, the autofocus is not really happening too good right now, but I think you can still get the idea. Fuzzy. Yeah, I would have to get up and fix the camera in order to do that. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, the message is See yourself open to receive in the most miraculous ways. The divine can use anything and anyone. Great message, So sometimes you get spiritual messages from the most unlikely sources, and to own your limitlessness. I think that's really the message here from what I'm getting is the fact that we're not our bodies. We have bodies. We're not our thoughts. We're not our emotions. These are things that we have to navigate a physical world, but we're spirit, we're energy, we're essence, and spirit is limitless. The more you can own your limitlessness, the more you can start to undo limitations in your physical human life as well. And I also have an angel card too, of course. Um, all right. Clearing mind. Okay, this one. Oh, I like this. It says Mystique. Yeah, I apologize for the autofocus not working. At least I'm in focus. I guess I should be grateful for that. And the message here is keep charging ahead. Don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. So, and this is like a unicorn charging forward. So even though Mercury's retrograde, even though a lot of the advice is going more within, not necessarily trying to create a lot, keep that mindset. You're still moving forward. And again, it's more about like ideas, working with spirit, strategies, changing strategies. We talk a lot about spiritual warriorship here. We take responsibility. We don't blame others. We understand that we created everything. We're not victims. We are proactive in our lives. We know when to step back. We know when to push forward. That's part of spiritual warriorship also. Being in your heart, being clear of heart, clear of intention is part of spiritual warriorship as well. And something else. Oh yeah, and strategy is a big one. It's the main one. I forgot the name of the book. Gonoshore. Well, it translates to the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. Was a book about Bushido, for the Japanese, elite warriorship class, and it's such a good book on warriorship and strategy. It became a model for Japanese businesses, interestingly enough. And so keep charging forward. Even if there's a lull, keep that mindset that you're moving forward, that you're proactive and not to give up. So anyways, thank you, everybody. So that's what we have. So again, on Wednesday, it may be Thursday. I have to check with Heather, but I think on Wednesday we're, because I think that's the better night, before the eclipse actually starts. We're going to do some frequency channeling with the master teachers. Personal freedom is going to be another really huge topic. It's been a topic. I think we're going to feel more that kind of energy of clashes. So there may be some riots or demonstration of freedom versus non-freedom. So I prepared a video on what it's going to take to have personal freedom in a world where there's an elite ruling class that's bent on basically crushing your soul for their selfish benefit, and robbing you of your freedom. And the fact that in our human collective, we've been anything but free for thousands of years. Even the indigenous people that we look at as the free people were sooner or later were captured, conquered, and brought into some form of slavery. So, the interesting thing is that as a collective, true freedom is new. It's not known. And our subconscious will always gravitate towards the known because it's a survival mechanism. So you find people out there that just gravitate towards relationships that restrict their freedoms or jobs that restrict their freedom. They make these choices, and of course, consciously they think it's the only choice they have, but we're in a limitless, right? We're in a limitless, reality, in a limitless universe. And we don't realize that it's our subconscious gravitating towards the familiar, why we're choosing these paths that we get upset about because we're not free and we're not happy with our relationships or our friends or our jobs or whatever. So this video is going to teach you how to break out of that and how to become free. So I'm really thrilled about it. As you can tell, I get very animated. So in any event, that's what I got for you. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And this will be up as a video as soon as I stop, if you guys missed anything. All right. Love you. Bye.